The night is quiet, and a faint gray of dawn creeps across the paper walls of a samurai's home. He wakes not with the clamor of alarm, but with the discipline of habit. His body rises as if bound to the rhythm of the sun. A small brazier glows faintly, casting soft light on the polished steel of his blade resting nearby. Before touching food, before speaking a word, the samurai kneels in silence. His breathing is measured, steady. This is not merely meditation. It is a daily rehearsal of death. For the samurai, each morning is lived as though it could be his last. The words of Hagakure echo in his mind. The way of the warrior is found in death. By accepting mortality, he frees himself to live with purpose. When his breath has steadied and his thoughts are sharpened, the samurai steps into the courtyard. A bowl of clear water waits by the stone basin. He scoops it into his hands, washing his face, his mouth, his spirit. This is misogi, a Shinto purification, washing away the dust of yesterday's world. A quiet prayer follows, not grand or theatrical, but deeply personal. He bows his head toward the kamedana, the household shrine. Small offerings, rice, sake, perhaps a folded piece of paper with words of devotion, rest upon it. The samurai prays for clarity, loyalty, and strength to serve. To his lord, to his ancestors, to the path itself. The morning sun breaks over the horizon. It glints on the steel of his katana as he checks the blade, not out of vanity, but duty. The sword is more than a weapon. It is his soul, his honor forged in steel. Now dressed in his simple robes, not yet the armor of war, the samurai takes his breakfast. Rice, miso soup, perhaps pickled vegetables. No excess, no indulgence. Every action is deliberate, restrained. This balance between austerity and strength shapes the warrior's life. His appearance must be clean, his posture upright, his words measured. Even before stepping beyond his gates, the samurai embodies his role as a living example of Bushido. The day stretches before him. Training, duty, perhaps even conflict. But in these first hours, he has aligned body, mind, and spirit. A warrior who bows to the rising sun knows his life is not his own. It belongs to honor, to duty, to the quiet path between battles. The training yard is silent except for the whisper of steel slicing air. The samurai stands barefoot upon the packed earth, his body still, his mind sharper than the blade he wields. With each cut, each measured step, he rehearses centuries of tradition. Swordsmanship, kenjutsu, is not wild violence. It is a dance of precision. The angle of a wrist, the shift of a foot, the controlled breath before striking, all are calculated. To master the sword is to master oneself. His sensei once told him, "The sword is a mirror. If your spirit is clouded, your technique will falter. But if your spirit is clear, the blade will sing." Every stroke is a prayer, every parry a test. This is not practice for battle alone. It is practice for living rightly. Later in the morning, the samurai turns to the bow. The long Japanese yumi bends with a quiet creak, taller than the man himself. Archery, Kyudo, is not about striking a target, but striking truth. He breathes, draws, releases. The arrow does not fly from his hands. It flies from his spirit. The silence before the string snaps is as important as the flight itself. In that stillness lies Zen. The bow teaches humility. Even a master misses. And in every miss is a lesson. The samurai bows to the target, whether struck or not, honoring the path that sharpens character more than skill. To outsiders, it may seem strange, but to him, this is not archery. This is a conversation between heart, arrow, and sky. After the body has been tested, the samurai tends to the mind. In the quiet of his study, he grinds ink against stone, preparing to write a poem. His brush moves with the same discipline as his sword. Each character is alive with restraint, each word weighed like steel. A short verse, a haiku, emerges. The blade sleeps in sheath, yet my heart remains awake. Dawn whispers of fate. Writing is not weakness. It is proof that a warrior can see beauty even in fleeting petals, even in the shadow of death. Poetry tempers violence with grace, sharpening not the edge of the sword, but the edge of the soul. As the sun climbs high, sweat dries, ink fades, and silence returns. Body, spirit, and mind have been honed together. The samurai knows that training does not end with the battlefield. It is life itself. Afternoon light filters softly through sliding paper doors. The samurai enters a small tea house, stooping low, leaving his sword outside. Here, rank and weapon mean nothing. The only battle is against distraction. The tea ceremony, shinoyu, is not about drinking. It is about presence. Each movement, the whisking of the tea, the bow of the host, the lifting of the cup, is slow, deliberate, silent. The warrior watches steam rise, curling like spirit smoke. In this moment, there is no war, no duty, only simplicity. This ritual teaches humility. Even a lord must kneel before a cup. The samurai sips bitter matcha, and in its sharp taste finds harmony. Harmony with host, with nature, with the fragile peace that life allows between battles. When evening comes, the samurai makes his way to a Shinto shrine. Lanterns glow, their paper skins trembling in the breeze. He purifies his hands at the stone basin, then steps beneath the great torii gate. Inside, he bows twice, claps twice, and bows once more. The sound echoes into the night. Before him is no grand idol, but emptiness, a space for kami, the unseen spirits. He prays for his clan, his family, his ancestors. He asks not for victory, but for the strength to uphold duty. In the stillness, he feels the weight of countless generations. His life is not his own. It flows from those who came before and will flow into those who follow. Honor is not a private burden. It is an inheritance. But not all ceremonies are gentle. There is one ritual every samurai dreads, yet accepts: seppuku, ritual suicide, performed to preserve honor when all else is lost. It is not spoken of lightly. A man kneels, white robes around him. His short blade rests before him. Witnesses, solemn and still, watch with bowed heads. To outsiders, it seems madness, but to the samurai, it is the ultimate act of loyalty. Better to die with honor than live with shame. Even in life, the knowledge of this ritual hovers near. It disciplines his actions, reminds him that every decision carries weight. A single failure may cost him not only his life, but the legacy of his name. The samurai does not seek death, but he does not fear it, for in its shadow, he finds the courage to live faithfully. Though warriors, the samurai were not always fighting. In long stretches of peace, they became guardians of order. Some served as magistrates, scribes, or tax collectors. Others were trusted to mediate disputes between farmers, merchants, or rival clans. In the marketplace, their presence was quiet but commanding. The sight of two swords at their side, the long katana and the shorter wakizashi, was enough to remind people of law and consequence. Yet power was not theirs to wield recklessly. Bushido demanded restraint. Justice must be firm but fair. A samurai's voice in court carried weight. His word could settle quarrels, shape decisions, and maintain the delicate balance of society. He was not just a man of steel. He was a man of law, bound to uphold harmony as fiercely as he would defend his lord. Every detail of the samurai's appearance told a story. His top knot, the chanmich, marked him as a warrior, a man disciplined enough to follow tradition. His clothing, kimono layered beneath flowing hakama, was simple in form, yet precise in its folds. Upon his chest or sleeve rested the family crest, the mon. A single flower, a pair of hawks, a rising sun. Each emblem was a living banner of bloodline and loyalty. To wear it was to carry centuries of honor. And then, of course, there were the swords. Worn at the waist, the daisho, the paired long and short blades, were more than weapons. They were identity. To be stripped of them was to be stripped of dignity, of self. Even in times of peace, the clink of a samurai's sword signaled duty ever at his side. The samurai's life was not private. Every gesture, every word was measured by those around him. Children looked up to him, villagers bowed to him, and even fellow warriors watched to see if he lived by the code he claimed to honor. This expectation was both pride and burden. A samurai could not act rashly in public, for his shame would not be his alone. It would stain his lord, his clan, his ancestors. A careless insult, an unworthy indulgence, even a poorly tied robe. Such small things could ripple outward, dishonoring all he stood for. Thus, he lived as an example. His stride steady, his words deliberate, his gaze calm. He embodied dignity not for himself, but for the order of the world. In peace or in battle, the samurai carried the invisible armor of responsibility. When duty allows, the samurai returns to his garden. Here, the clash of steel fades into the rustle of bamboo and the ripple of koi beneath the water surface. He kneels to prune a bonsai tree. Trimming with the same care, he gives his blade. Every cut is deliberate, every curve of branch shaped with patience. In these quiet hours, he is not warrior, not judge, not servant of his lord. He is simply a man. He watches petals drift across a pond, the wind carrying them away like fleeting moments. He knows life is fragile, and yet, in its brevity, it holds infinite beauty. The garden becomes his battlefield of serenity, where the enemy is restlessness and the victory is stillness that be why candlelight. The samurai writes. A brush in hand, he composes letters to family, poems for friends, and sometimes words for those who will never read them. Letters to ancestors long gone, or children not yet born. His handwriting is firm, yet graceful, as though each stroke carries his soul. He does not write of triumphs in battle or honors received. Instead, he writes of the sound of rain against the roof, of the feel of earth beneath his feet, of the scent of incense rising at dawn. For he knows that glory fades, but the memory of small, human moments endures. These letters may never survive the fire of war, but they preserve a truth deeper than conquest, that even warriors crave connection, tenderness, and peace. As the day ends, the samurai sits in silence, watching the sun sink behind distant hills. The sky burns with colors that no brush could capture. He breathes deeply, feeling both the weight of his duty and the fleeting light of life itself. He reflects on Bushido, the path of honor, courage, loyalty. He has lived not only as a warrior, but as a guardian of order, a servant of spirit, a man shaped by ritual, restraint, and responsibility. His battles may be remembered, but it is in these quiet moments that his true path is revealed. For the way of the samurai is not endless war. It is learning to walk with dignity between battles, to find meaning in silence, to live fully, knowing death walks always at his side. The stars appear, night descends, and with it, the samurai bows once more to the world. his spirit at peace upon the path.